Hey guys, what's up? I'm feeling a little bit better. Turns out talking about it always helps, hey? Anyhow, so I want to show you the next purchase that I made. It's a no-name purchase too. The next two purchases. A no-name purchase. So this is something that I started to experiment on commencing last month. And so far, oh goodness, I saw the results. Literally, I am not even out here in these streets trying to pull your leg. Why would I do that? I'm not even a skincare YouTuber or a hair care YouTuber. I'm just a Christian trying to show you what God has done for me, okay? And it just so happens to be currently today within the niches of skin and hair care. So I'm not out here trying to pull your leg. I am coming in the spirit of truth. I'm not trying to make money out of skin or hair care. I just want to enable people that are struggling, or to give people perspective about really what's going on out here in these streets concerning consumerism and how frugality is a virtue from God, and you should try and cultivate it, especially as a woman, because the day is going to arrive when life hits, and when life hits you want to still stay beautiful. So if you and your husband lose your jobs, because look at what's happening to all of our economies, you can still maintain your collagen. I'm just saying, I am the textbook case of God maintained me through thick and thin. A hair did not perish on my head. The Lord kept me basically considering fields and buying them. He made me viable, gorgeous, beautiful, despite things that are supposed to crack me up and lay me prostrate on the floor, wasted, eating dust. In days of famine, I'm enjoying plenty because the Lord has made out of me a frugal human being. So I'm trying to make women recognize the value of frugality as a virtue, so as to also divorce themselves from the love of money that buys really expensive things. And it is the root of all kinds of evil, and many who wander after it pierce themselves with many pains, among the pains of which is basically marrying a guy because he's got a whole bunch of money, and so therefore finding yourself in a marriage that's going to make out of you a mad woman. I've been talking about mad women and how it is that they have destroyed South Africa. It has become a menacing matriarchy with men just not quite, doing their part because they are busy being run by Jezebels. And Lord Jezebel, Batandi Mali, they love money, and the reason why people love money is because of what money can buy. So if you teach yourself a frugality, it is a virtue. It'll enable you to not equate quality, girth, worthiness of a man with money. Then in that way you will finally allow yourselves to be pursued by men who don't have that much of it but have really great virtue, and the two of y'all can go into the sunset and build an empire. I'm not saying don't go make money, I'm just saying don't gun for it, because when you gun for it you end up married really horribly. Go and ask all these ladies married to Gucci buying men and ask them if they're happy, okay? I'm not saying settle for less than what it is that you asked for or want. I'm just saying know when to not pass up a good thing because it doesn't have money. I am a victim of being passed up because I lost my career. I lost my ability to be able to get everything I need easily and however expensively it is that I wanted to get it for. And because of that, I don't know how many men looked at me on some, she pretty but I don't care. She pretty but I don't care. She ain't got nothing. I don't carry clout. I don't have weight in that regard. And so a whole virtuous, godly, absolutely amazing woman, I'm sorry if that sounds like me tooting their horn, has been passed up because she had no money. So our men are also now chasing after women who have money, meaning that it is no longer men that are expected to have it. And that is a society that has been discombobulated and turned on its head. Because men now are also using women to supplement their wealth. And it's like, what are you doing? You're losing your manhood. But the reason why people end up in that little bunch, piercing themselves with many pains, is because of a love of money. And like I said, the love of money is exacerbated by things that money can buy. So if you learn frugality, I keep repeating myself, if you learn frugality, you will learn not to be swayed in decision making by quantity of cash or central banking, digital currencies, whatever might be the tantamount of thing that buys. Alright, stuff like this leads to the mark of the beast, you guys. I've even been writing articles for days about it, but nonetheless, whatever. So all these beautiful serums, all these beautiful discoveries by the pharmaceuticals industry to help us look younger for longer, have our skin pop and whatnot. My oh my, there are cheap ways to make them. So vitamin C is an antioxidant, a gargantuan one. It is also a tyrosinase inhibitor in that it reduces the appearance of dark spots and what have you. I spoke about that in my previous part. Tyrosinase is an enzyme. No, I'm not going to go into explaining what tyrosinase is. You don't need to know. Or if you want to find out, go and get somebody else a lot more educated than me in that regard. But yeah, vitamin C is one of those things that people use in order to get rid of dark spots. It is also one of those things that people use to combat aging because of its antioxidant concentration. It is, however, very unstable on its own, so it needs to be bottled in a dark bottle, and it also likely works best when it's mixed with vitamin E and I believe A, in order to, you know, maintain its stability and what have you. So how you know you're buying a good vitamin C serum or cream or whatever is if it comes jam-packed with vitamin A next to it alongside vitamin E. And also packaging goes a long way, like, you know. Otherwise, if somebody sells you a vitamin C cream or a serum and it comes in a package like, okay, I don't have anything right now that I'm looking at that I can use, some clear glass, then you know that it's rubbish, right? That's why education goes a long way. Now, what does vitamin C do? Back in the day when I was busy studying ways to deal with situation with my skin, it also helps with acne, whatnot, right? When I was trying to figure out what to do with my face, there was this whole vitamin C thing being recommended to me. I didn't have money for it. It is ridiculously expensive. I could not afford to buy the powder or the actual cream, blah, all these things. So I was like, what to do, until I happened upon some poor YouTubers, because you know we don't all come rich, and they were like, girls, I can set you, but you gonna have to, like, you know, make this cream every 2 or 3 days. And with me, because my life sucks so hard, and I'm always in so much pain, I can't maintain with any level of consistency anything that needs me to just keep on going back to the drawing board and making over and over and over and over again. But I tried it anyway, thinking that I could maintain it. I wasn't able to maintain it. A vitamin C serum that this chick made from home, right? She basically grated like an orange peel skin, like lemon zest, or I think it was the full lemon peel or whatever. She put it in some boiling water and then just kind of put it into a container, put it in the refrigerator, and she was like, you have to use it within 2 days, otherwise there's nothing that's going to be left there. Vitamin C is very unstable, so it breaks down and it starts to like oxidate and all that jazz, and it's just going to be nasty. And I tried it, guys. I did exactly what she did, using the oranges in the house. And I was, as you know, after I did the serum, put it in the refrigerator, put it on my face. Within that day, that very same day, literally immediately after using it, my skin already looked like, it's like my pores, like whatever pores I had on my face, they just were like, they went from, and they were like, my pores closed up, my skin looked all porcelainy, like a doll. And I was like, what the heck? Like, from an orange peel? I tried to maintain it, but like I said, sorrow has a thing about me. I was in too much pain. I couldn't keep making this like lemon zest thing. Plus, on top of that, sometimes lemons would take 3 days to arrive in the house to be purchased again. It wasn't lemons, oranges, whatever might be a peel, right? And I was like, oh, I just got bored. I got tired and I stopped. I can't really say that my skin went back to looking like that of a 90-year-old woman, but it was just whatever my skin was. All I knew was that I just wanted something that would be maintained in that state, that I can use every day and replenish once a month, because I don't know, I bought it at the store. Then I went to like Dis-Chem, of course, Clicks, you know, these stores where you can purchase cosmetics, and I looked at how much. First of all, the vitamin C serums they came highly recommended were from The Ordinary, and The Ordinary, they don't have it in South Africa, and even if they do, you kind of have to like know amahonji, and I didn't have time or the resources to be looking for things in honjis, and the ones I did not know where to find The Ordinary, like things that were as with rave reviews at the level of The Ordinary in South Africa. And because I didn't have money, I didn't even bother to research YouTubers in South Africa that have an alternative from The Ordinary. So I just was like, whatever, I was like, we'll see you tomorrow, maybe day after tomorrow, maybe next year. Okay, I'm not doing this. So I just gave up on the whole vitamin C thing. I did remember, however, that, whoa, I tried the orange peel thingy, DIY home solution, and it made my skin pop, looking like a baby's bottom with sucked in pores. Like, what's going on? So when I started to, like, you know, get enabled in that regard, okay, I wanted to buy the vitamin C serum, and then of course I went and I perused the aisles of Dis-Chem to see if I can't find vitamin C. Okay, to see if I can't find it, and indeed I did just that, and I found it, and thank you, son, no thank you, I don't have money. Little tiny pipette to using serum and gaga, some of it were creams and whatnot, 300, 400, 350, I was like, well, really? I mean, this is drugstore or pharmaceutical chemist type prices, and yet it's like this. What in the world was likely? How much would the Ordinary be? Then in South Africa, I did find it, and in the US, apparently, allegedly, the Ordinary is cheap. It's one of the cheaper brands, but it's got really great products. You know, like people speak of it as actually being along more of the more affordable ones. But in South Africa, they will probably just capitalize on the fact that you third world gangsters, y'all don't get to buy nothing cheap anyway, whatever. So I was like, okay, I don't know what it is why they price it so heavily. Some of us want to be pretty despite being poor. What's wrong with you? So I just let it go. Like, I saw that vitamin C was too expensive, and as my studies were continuing, I then also was, happened upon hyaluronic acid was heavily spoken about. So too was retinol, and the powers of retinol, like how it just makes you look like this like Korean glass skin 22-year-old chick after 5 months of use. I was like, it would be great. I would love to, maintain myself. I want that long idea, but I ain't got no money. And indeed, every time I would go to the disc game, happen upon retinol, happen upon hyaluronic acid, anything at all. I mean, there was this one moisturizer that I bought that had 3 essential ceramides in it, CeraVe, I believe, with hyaluronic acid, and it worked so like I used it on my face and I liked the effect. Hey, but the actives were kind of harsh, right? I used to use castor oil on my eyelashes to try and grow them. Mixing that castor oil with that serum just made my eyes burn, so I stopped with the castor oil application. But I also stopped buying that cream because it was $250 for that, right? And even though I wanted it to last me for like ever and a day, and I was only using it for my face, not my body, I was like, I can't be buying things that cost me that much per single purchase. I don't have money. I don't have the luxury. If I buy it this one time, I might be dry for 6 months and then I'm out, and next thing from being out, that would mean that my skin, basically retracts, bounces back to the former state. It's like stopping to use, what is it, MSM, MSM, that powder that people use in order to grow their hair. Apparently when you stop using it, your hair thins out again. So that's why I never tried MSM for my hair growth, because for me it was too expensive to take a risk with using it, and then my hair was gonna blossom, and then I was gonna stop using it because I ain't got no money and it's gonna go down. So I've always just sought out ingredients, things that I can always buy, that if at all diffedile, there's an alternative in the fridge. I spoke about that in terms of purchasing my seeds and whatnot. The things that I drink in my shake and whatnot, they're always cheap. Like, I make sure that they're under $50, 60 if we're pushing it too far. If anything costs more than 50 or $60, I'm not even taking it. So my linseed, my chia seeds, I always make sure they come under $60, and I take a little bit to take me very far. So I abandoned the MSM at the store. When I saw it, I was like, we're not doing this. Even though you're gonna grow my hair like wildfire, when you run out, my hair gonna fall out, and we're not gonna do that. We're not doing it, right? So I did not, when I had enough money, like there was one time when I got like quite a handsome amount given me, right? I do not go on right ahead and just experiment with expensive products because I've seen them on TV. I don't eat YouTube, because next time when they fall out of my hands, I'm gonna not have them. I'm not gonna have them, and upon not having them, then my skin is gonna make like an MSM side effect of stopping. Hair's gonna thin. So if hair thins with MSM stopping, what happens when you stop using retinol? What happens when you stop using vitamin C? What happens when you stop using collagen? What happens when you start, you know what I mean? So I was like, I'm not trying to have like some effect on my face that's gonna make me feel like I don't matter in life, that I ain't nobody, that proper, like people can walk past me like I'm cellophane. It don't matter. Like, no, I did not want to look in the mirror and cry because I stopped using something, and now the effects of it, the effects of stopping are all up in my grill. So I've always stayed very safe when it comes to purchases, until I went to this Chinatown gangster place, and I was like, oh my goodness, I found vitamin C at a ridiculous price. I found retinol at a ridiculous price, and I found hyaluronic acid at a ridiculous price, and it's something that I can trust that I will be able to stretch out over a very long amount of time, and when it finishes, I very highly likely will be restocked again, because God is in the business of restocking me, and I'm going to be able to keep on purchasing. I'm going to be able to continue purchasing it, so I won't ever have to stop. And when I found it, I was like, this is it. So when I was looking for that kojic acid cream that I wasn't able to find, not cream but face wash that I wasn't able to find in this beauty supply store, when I was there, okay, well, it's not beauty supply store, I watched too much American YouTube, what do they call it, health and beauty warehouse. When I was looking for this thing, I happened upon this serum set, and I was like, oh my goodness, I remember what vitamin C did for me. I've never tried retinol other than the home experimented vitamin A using matcha, which was not real matcha from Dis-Chem, by the way, just putting that out there. I attempted some kind of skin cream. One of my mom's friends, I gave it to her and she raved about it, but I couldn't continue to buy matcha, so I stopped using the product, because really, if I can't continue, we're not gonna let ourselves get used to it or addicted to it, okay? So I had some little bit of experience with retinol in my face, DIY at home. A very unconcentrated, small version, little amounts of vitamin A that are not made in a laboratory, and so therefore they're not the concentration or quantities that actually start to make a difference in your face. Similarly too with vitamin C, I had experimented with the DIY version and I saw miracles on my face, and then I stopped within like just a week or two. And hyaluronic acid, there was a CeraVe moisturizer at 250 that I bought at Dis-Chem that did wonders for me, but it made my eyes burn because of the castor oil, and it was too expensive. So I stopped buying it because I don't have money to keep on buying such things, right? So I know the combination of I know what hyaluronic acid can do for my face. I know what retinol can do for my face in small measure, in the small little concentration that a home DIY solution can do using fruits and vegetables. And I also know what vitamin C using a fruit can do. What then when something is done in a laboratory to be stable, to be maintained in its consistency for a certain amount of time? What then, you know? So I was like, Arabo, remember, you are poor, you're broke, so God knows these things, and he understands that you can't afford to buy like a CeraVe or, you know, Neutrogena or a whatever, you know, like high-end brand. You can't afford to buy their serums, you can't afford to buy their creams, their powders, because they're ridiculous. The prices are ridiculous for somebody as poor as you. God gets that, but the Lord also has a khonchi, you know, like he knows the khonchis that his disciples need to find in heaven. God knows that it is not only Neutrogena that produces the best serums for skincare or Eucerin, or you get my point. He knows that there are people that are on the come up that are not recognized, that do good, if not even better products than the ones that are in the market, very well marketed, and so consumers are just gunning for them, buying them at these exorbitant prices. He knows that there are people who are yet to be seen that are producing these products, if not better quality, but for cheaper prices because don't nobody know them yet. And he is in the business of literally making your paths straight in that regard. The Bible says, commit your ways to the Lord, lean not on your own understanding, in all of your ways acknowledge him, and he will make your what? Paths straight. He will give you direction. He is the lamp to your feet. So God knows you're a typical woman, girl, like typical in the worst way. You about that skin cream business, you all about that hair care business. You are a typical woman, always just looking at your body, your skin, I can cellulite, da. Being a persecuted disciple has not changed just what a typical woman you are. So just like all these other typical women in the world that are running to the shelves of FMCGs to purchase all these products to keep themselves in a bunch with sticky tape, alright, to prevent themselves from aging prematurely and all these things, or capitulating to gravity. All these females all over the show and you have the same thing in common. You are typical women, and God knows that. Just as it is written in his word, even the pagans need these things, but your heavenly Father loves you. God knows that the pagans need these things. God knows that you need these things. But seek ye first the kingdom and its righteousness, and everything else will be added to you. So the Lord knew that I needed, just like every other 38-year-old woman, some kind of anti-aging like skincare routine. He knew that just because I'm suffering, I'm not gonna all of a sudden not care about the fact that, goodness, I'm at that age where everything gotta be put, like we gotta keep it in a bunch, like stockings keeping cellulite together. You gotta put a stocking on your face to keep it from falling apart or something of that nature. He knew that I am still a woman in the worst way in that regard. Whether or not I'm born again, we will still be gunning for the same, more or less, in desires over the years. And for me to not have access to all these wonderful things that women have to keep themselves looking like Beyonce at 40, how old is Beyonce now? If at all I don't have any of that, everybody that has wreaked havoc in my life is going to get away with murder. Do you understand? My friends, my former friends who did this to me, they can afford to purchase some ridiculous like 700 rand 25 milliliter tub of like retinol cream from the store at Dis-Chem or some other place. They can afford to spend 1,500 rand on some little mist on their face, something that I would have been able to do but I can't anymore. So God was like, I'm gonna show them flames, baby. I'm gonna give you that mist, 1,500 rands for 120 bucks. I'm gonna give you that cream, 250 bucks for 25 milliliter like ointment. I'm going to give it to you for 50 bucks. I am going to train you, instruct you, educate you, make your paths straight, and make it clear that these pagans that buy their creams, they buy their food, they buy their milk, they buy their cheese, they buy their bread, they get everything that you can't get. They They need it. They consume it. They chow it. They are indeed the very pagans I described in the word. I know that you need these things. Seek me and everything else will be added to you. Seek me and my righteousness. And God has done exactly that. Look at what he has managed to do for me on literally attending towards zero budget, despite me feeling like you've forsaken me with needs of pagans, because all of us are women together, and together as women we tend to need the same things. It's just that I'm godly and they're not, and God is like, my point exactly, I'm gonna show them flames. And this is how he did it. Next part.